Street monster moment, bitch niggas stay in the lanes. Back from nothing, it's me, the STO, Jeff pushing DOPE. Trying to fuck with 211 and OPE. The little nigga just popped MP till empty. Hey. I did bitch nigga that take me so.
What up though? OG Kenny, O_G_ Kenny, advertising from the streets TV, and welcome to another episode, another installment of me running my mouth about stuff I've been through and things that I've seen, right? So, in previous episodes, like, you gotta understand that this booty bandit stuff was crazy because I didn't realize how many sick individuals I would run across during my course of incarceration. Especially that first time. Second and third time, I was a little more acclimated to it. It wasn't so daunting. It wasn't so much of a shock to me when I would see grown, big, strong, like this. You feel me? Chewing bricks and all that type of stuff. Deadlifting 500, bench pressing 4 something easy, squatting 500, 600, but in love with another man. So it wasn't that shocking after a while. It was still a little like, damn. I mean, but like I said, I ain't judging. But my problem always was when a lot of them dudes go in the visiting room and had women, had wives. That's when the problem really came with me because I don't care what you do behind closed doors. It's just so different in there because you don't never know who you dealing with. Like when it comes to that type of stuff, them type of relationships, right? So a lot of them booty bandit stories kind of took off and ran rampant with me, right? But I ran into a lot of that, so they gonna come out sometime. Now, if y'all remember one of the first booty bandit stories I told y'all was about Mr. Green. Mr. Green, if you haven't watched that one, I want to say that was my second, maybe third video, probably second. But Mr. Green, notorious, had been down about 40-something years or something like that. Older dude, right? Kept a bald head, shining. And I told y'all he cut into me and all that stuff. Go watch that video, you will see, because he had a crazy case, and there was a bunch that went along with him cutting into my buns, right? Or trying to get my buns and all that, right? So, and it was okay. But what I failed to tell y'all is me and Mr. Green had 2 incidents, 2 more after that he had no idea of, right? I violated Mr. Green a couple of times, right? Now, I don't remember which one happened first. Anyway, Mr. Green, if y'all watched that episode, like I told y'all, he used to be tripping with that music. He would play his music ridiculously loud in his headphones, and then he would sing along to it. A lot of it was like a loud country type of, wild country type of bluegrass sounding music. That's all you would hear, loud. And you got to think, we're in a day room setting. It's just rows of beds, like in the middle, 2 rows of beds, head to head, row of bed on this side of the wall, and at the very back wall, you got a row of bunk beds. So, right, but it's a whole big day room. Imagine turning a gymnasium into beds, putting beds in the gymnasium. That's the best, or pole barn, really. It's kind of a pole barn, but imagine putting a bunch of beds in the pole barn and then laying the floor down, some cheap carpet, right? That's what we living at. So it's not nothing to really absorb the sound. So this dude is loud. It be 1 in the morning sometimes. You hear, you had dudes got to go shake his bed and whatnot. And he, okay, and then he'd cut him down. But it didn't sit well with me. I was petty. I ain't gonna lie. I was petty as a mug, and I actually lied to one of the brothers under oath, and I felt bad about it. But he told me to stand on my truth, and I did. But I lied because I didn't want to deal with the backlash of the violation, right? So this what happened. One night, Mr. Green and that boy loud. He's so loud, and I shook his bed like I usually do. Cause right, soon as you would come down the hall to go to the back, through the first row of bunks, to turn to get to the back row, between the back row and the bunk beds, right? So all flat beds, turning around, boom, back there like that, right? He was at the very end of the first line of beds or whatever, right? So what we would do is we would walk down. He would be right there loud. So you got to understand. Bald-headed, loud. Guess what I do one night? Because I shook his bed and he wouldn't do nothing. You would walk past, you would drop it, boom, boom. He'd kind of wake up or whatever, cut the music off or turn it down. Sometimes he wouldn't do it. He'd just ignore you. So one time I shook his bed, going to the bathroom, right? On the way back, he's still loud. I can't sleep. I come back. Man, listen, it took, and my hands are still a little wet from the bathroom, right? I took my wet hand. I cocked that boy back. You hear me? As far as I could. I looked around. And I slapped as much fire as I could out the back of Mr. Greenhead. You talking about, ah! it made me feel so good. And he got up. Listen, I done slid, got on the floor, crawled the rest of the way. Chuck up. Chuck laughing. Because, you know, I got up. And he like, man, he up drawing or writing or something. I just got up, went to the bathroom. Like, man, this dude loud. He like, man, I ain't went to sleep yet. He said, but I'm up for a minute anyway. I done drank that coffee late. So, listen, I'm crawling. Mr. Green and set up cussing loud, fussing. Motherfucker, this, that, and the other. I'm going in this locker and whatnot. I don't know if he was going to grab a knife. I don't know what he was doing. But he was pissed. Listen, my hand hurt so bad from doing that. You know how, like, if you slap something, like I remember I slapped one of my dogs because he had grabbed a hold to my wrist, right? And I slapped his hand cord as hard as I could. I had my hand red and swole the next day when I slapped Mr. Green on the back of that big bald ass head with that wet hand. I promise you, if I felt vindicated for one. I felt vindicated for one because you shouldn't have cut into my butt. I ain't give you no indication I was no booty bandit victim. I was no peanut butter jar. You feel what I'm saying? You ain't getting my musty nickel. You understand what I'm saying? So let's dead that. But I didn't care. I just needed, you know, I couldn't sleep for one. Shut the hell up with your old crazy self for one. And for two, man, I don't know what made me do that, bro. This was like he was laying there, he was comfortable, he had them headphones on, and I saw that boy shine, and I said, man, I'm about to slap the fire out this man's head. You feel me? That's the only thing I could think of. It felt great. It felt amazing. And the next day, Mr. Green, he had a little mark on his head. And they like, damn, Mr. Green must have bumped his head on something. And my man Chuck like, nah, Ken, they slapped him upside his head while he was asleep. Now, I don't know why he told them brothers that, because you got to understand, I'm part and partial at this time. Because I had got over it, you know what I mean? Mr. Green was when I was first kind of coming in. This was like a few months down the line. I already took my oath of pledge, got my badge. I'm an official member of the Melanic Islamic Palace of the Rising Sun at this particular time, right? So I'm not supposed to be in no type of folly, but I still got so much street in me. So that's why I don't like when dudes scrutinize and marginalize dudes like Rollo, dudes like Kevin Gates, and a lot of other brothers who profess Islam as their belief system, but who still people look at as worldly or involved in worldly activities, conversations, and deeds, and all that, right? Because I know that no matter what you believe in, it's a struggle, right? To stay on the course. So I was learning. I was getting better at being on my deen. That was the first violation for me, Mr. Green. Second violation. So I wish I had some of my headphones around. I'll show you how similar these headphones are. Look these up, and I got some somewhere. I believe one of my Foot Lockers, right? Cost R10 black headphones. They clear now, the ones they let you get, if they let you get them now. But the R10s, them Koss KOSS R10. Black headphones, them was the go-to headphones for everybody who was doing time and who wanted, you know, you want to deaden the sound. You want to block the sound as much as possible, right? Them things covered your whole ear and they thumped. So whatever song you was playing was resonating through them boys. This was the problem with Mr. Green that night. And then, this is what happened. After I slapped that man's head, about maybe a week or two passed, he did it again. He up late, loud music, right? This time I wasn't even asleep. It was just the principle. I'm like, alright, I'm gonna fix him. He ain't got no headphones. He ain't gonna be playing no music. And we ain't gotta deal with the noise. Right? Bing! Light bulb moment. So, I was wrong. But I caught Mr. Green slipping. He went to the shower one day. I walked past his bunk. I looked, you know what I mean? Because he walked past, he kind of nodded a little bit and kept it moving with his little slick walk. And I looked at him, looked at his bed area. He kept a bunch of coffee, and I started at first grab his thing of coffee, but he already been in it. You know them old dudes, they make their coffee, dip it in there, stir it up, lick the spoon, might go back in there, a little nasty old man, So I'm like, I ain't messing with his coffee, but coffee was a big selling thing. I didn't drink it. I was going to bag it up and sell them, you know, quarter packs, right? Shots of coffee for a quarter. Anyway, we get to that another topic, right? I got a crazy story about some coffee with a dude. It happened years down the line, but I got a crazy story. Mark my words. I'm gonna refer y'all back to this video when I tell y'all that story, right? I'm looking at Mr. Green bed area. He got a few things laid out, and I see up under his pillow, he got the cord hanging out. He's trying to have his headphones or keep them plugged in. So I'm like, these boys cost about $25, $30 on the Jail Marcus catalog. and I gotta wait forever to get me some. I'm about to take these headphones. These me. I'm housing these boys. And that's what I did. I took his headphones. Petty thief stuff. I get it. I know. Get in the comment section. Tell me how petty I was. I was young, immature. Feel me? I didn't even have a mustache yet. Maybe my lack of mustache made me reckless. I don't know. You feel me? But I took the man the headphones. I took them and I sold them to another housing unit. And I got me 2 cans of Bugler. Right? Tobacco. Rolling tobacco. I baked them. Big tobacco. Right? About, So you rolling up. Oh, bango. Something like this, feel me? Something like this, but slimmer, and maybe a little, a little taller. Heli tobacco, right? You can roll 300-400 cigarettes, sell 4, 5 to 6 of them for 25 cents. You do the math, So I'm about to pro up off these bad boys, and that's what I did. I bumped them bad boys. I traded them to one of my brothers in another unit. He gave me 2 things of tobacco, and what's so crazy is though I didn't even know nobody saw me. Or did the math on me being the one that did. Maybe, I don't know what happened. Somebody told on me though. Somebody told Vern X. Shout out to my brother Vern Presley. Vern X, a founding member of the Atlantic Soldier. They ended up sending Vern X to the Fed joint. He could no longer stay in the state joint. When they dismantled us as a religious organization, that's a whole other story I'll tell y'all later too. But Vern X, Vern Presley, I used to call him Nick No Teeth, because he was Snaggletooth, right? But this is my big bro, a lifer. He probably about 70 years old to right now, maybe up in that range. Taught me a lot, schooled me a lot, showed me how to get my hustle back on. He was the one who was supervising me in the unit when not supervising me, watching and making sure him and Notar X was the ones who was on my head about making sure I ran that store correctly when I first got my store, and I was the treasurer for the brothers back then. I was the treasurer at the time. I hadn't got my rank as the second in charge of security yet. So you go to that video about how I got rank on the yard at 22 years old, that details all that journey. But yeah, they told Vern X, and Vern X came. Sola. I'm like, what's up? Cecil. I'm like, my salon, brother. He like, I'm gonna ask you something. I want you to tell me the truth. Don't lie to me. Put it on your IC. Right? I'm like, damn, I already know what he about to say. I already know. What else you gonna send me through all this? Oh, tell me the truth. Do this, do that. Swear to God. Stand on one hand. Put it on your mama. Put it on something, right? He sending me through all these rituals, and I'm like, dog. He about to ask about these funky ass headphones. And he like, I'm like, what's up? Talk to me, Sola. I got you. He like, did you take Mr. Green headphone, his R10s? I'm like, nah. On your IC? I'm like, bro, no, who's saying this, right? I wish you could see this episode. He'd be like, mother. But listen, I lied, because I respected the man. Well, I could have said yes, so I did. I bumped them boys. But I ain't care. I'm like, you cutting my butt. You loud all the time. You noisy. I didn't care. I had peace of mind. Everybody in the unit was happy. I felt like the hero. I was like, yeah, I did something good. I made the booty bandit pay, right? So it was just crazy because, I don't think, I stopped that though. That was like my last time. But you gotta think, I came from jugging a little bit in the street, so I still had a little jug in me. You know what I mean? A little gank. I used to be ganking a little bit, so there was a little bit of that in me. I had to work that out of my system because if you was a chomo, you child molesting, and we was definitely, that never stopped. I ain't gonna lie. That was something every bid, we had to have some of what you had. And I got a bunch of stories about that. Y'all gonna love them because, I done had some crazy bunkies, some wild history with child molestation and other stuff when we find out. When you look in that file, I can tell. When you come in my cell, I almost know what you in there for. You in there about a week with me, I can almost tell what type of dude. I got good at that, reading and discerning between what kind of dude I was dealing with. 9 times out of 10, I was right. I'm like, dog in here for this. He ain't here for that. You hear me? So we was tearing everybody up. Mr. Green wasn't no exception to me though, because for one, you in here booty bandit, and two, I mean, I know your wife. If your wife did whatever, but that crime that he did, man, you gotta watch it. Go to that Mr. Green story. You see what I'm talking about? And they say that story is true and it's legendary, man. I felt bad about taking his headphones down the line because I'm like, damn, this is probably all he got. You know, telling what kind of support he got in the streets. You know what I mean? He been down. I hadn't thought about none of that in the beginning. This dude been down all this time. Everybody that he know potentially could be dead, right? Everybody that he know could potentially say, hey, I did enough, Pops. I rode with you all this time. I can't do it no more. You have people that do that, that will bag up from you after so much time that you didn't did. So I felt bad. Only after I matured. You understand what I'm saying? I wish I could have paid Mr. Green back, but by the time I matured, I was in another facility, and yeah, it was different then. But yep. But them chomos, them child molesters, no. We used to tear them up. I didn't never feel no way about getting they bag. Peeling their locker, stealing their whole Foot Locker, turning that boy into a sardine can. And it wasn't me necessarily, but I had a team always like, what's up? I'm gonna set the play. I'm gonna whoop. I'm gonna distract. We about to eat. Even though we was already eating, it was just like we gonna feed. We about to feed everybody in the other units. All the homies that rolled in don't got no money. They getting care packages. We taking all his deodorants. We splitting them up. We taking all his toothpaste, splitting them up, right? But karma a bad dude, because I took heavy losses behind everything I did when I was in there. I might got down in, but yeah, I always took a loss after that. Went to the hole, got everything, all my little contraband electronics and stuff taken, TV, radio, everything I done bought off the yard, taken from me, so I got to start back from scratch. And I didn't look at it like that. I just look at it like, hey, I'm getting down. Yeah, but that, yeah, Mr. Green, man, notorious booty bandit and murderer and lifer. I'm pretty sure Mr. Green is deceased by now. If not, he's a miracle, because he would be probably, yeah, he'd be a miracle. He'd be 100 and something years old. Yeah, something like that. He about 70 back then, so yeah. Or he could be alive, maybe alive still, but Jesus Christ, that's a lot of time to still be in the penitentiary. I love y'all, man. Thanks for bearing with me. Another story. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't so far. Get in the comment section. Let me know how crazy I am. I don't know. Yeah, I appreciate y'all. I'm tapping into comments today. I started yesterday, but Tequila been bopping my head like, you know, I got a homegirl named Tequila, and she pull up like a few times a week, doing the merengue and the salsa with some lime juice and stuff, and then she be getting me distracted. You feel me? So, anywho, man, I love y'all. I'm commenting back to everybody today. OG Kenny, O_G_Kenny. I love y'all. Every time from the streets TV, I'm out.